Training children to be self-disciplined without yelling. Using the power of logical consequences to foster positive behavior. Dear friends, have your children ever pushed your limits, leaving you feeling helpless and wondering how to guide them to behave more appropriately? That's a journey almost every parent experiences. Today, let's explore a highly effective positive discipline method called logical consequences. This is not a punishment, it's a way to help children recognize and adjust their behavior on their own. Before diving into the details, let's go over the main points that will be shared. Logical consequences are a tool for discipline, not punishment, helping children understand why their behavior is inappropriate. To apply it effectively, parents need to remember 4 core strategies. Prioritize emotional processing. Set a good example. Focus on helping children make better decisions. And practice consistently. Now, let's explore this more deeply. What are logical consequences? So, what exactly are logical consequences? You can think of them as a gentle discipline method that guides children to face and take responsibility for their inappropriate actions. The ultimate goal is not to scare or shame them but to encourage learning from mistakes and choosing better behavior in the future. For a consequence to be considered logical, parents should consider 3 important factors. 1. Relevance. The consequence should be directly related to the child's misbehavior. For example, if your child draws on the wall, a relevant consequence is having them help clean the mess. This helps them understand the connection between action and result. 2. Reasonableness. The consequence must be age-appropriate and fair. If it's too harsh, your child won't learn from it, they'll only feel resentful or rebellious. For instance, if your child grabs a toy from a friend, instead of banning them from the playground for a week, a more logical consequence is encouraging them to return the toy and apologize. 3. Respect. How you communicate and implement the consequence must always show respect for your child. Speak calmly and empathetically, avoiding shame or blame. For example, if your child is yelling to get attention, instead of shouting back, you might say, "I really want to hear what you're saying, but you need to speak calmly and politely so I can understand." Then, you can choose to not respond to the demand until they adjust their tone. This teaches your child that consequences are not punishments, but opportunities to learn better behavior. This method is most effective with children aged 2 and up, once they have developed enough cognitive ability to understand the link between actions and consequences. Why use logical consequences? It sounds good, but why should we choose this method over other discipline strategies, like yelling or spanking, which might seem quicker? Using logical consequences provides many long-term benefits for a child's development. It doesn't just stop unwanted behavior in the moment. It's a powerful educational tool. When children see a direct link between what they do and what happens next, they learn to reflect on their actions and make wiser, more thoughtful choices in the future. More importantly, this method helps children understand why their behavior is inappropriate. They learn lessons about responsibility and problem solving, rather than just trying to avoid punishment. This nurtures inner motivation rather than fear-driven obedience. Yes, applying logical consequences requires patience, consistency, and sometimes creativity from parents. But the benefits it brings to your parent-child relationship and your child's character development far outweigh the temporary convenience of negative discipline methods. In this way, we're building a positive, respectful, and healthy family environment where children feel safe to learn and grow into responsible individuals. Types of logical consequences parents can use. So, what types of logical consequences can parents start applying right away? Here are a few common suggestions. 1. Taking responsibility for the consequences. This teaches children that actions come with responsibility, whether mistakes were intentional or accidental. If your child spills water on the floor, the logical consequence is wiping it up, If they knock a friend over at the playground, they need to stop, help the friend up, and apologize. 2. Temporary loss of privileges. This applies when a child breaks a family rule. If they forget or deliberately ignore it, they temporarily lose a related privilege. For example, if the rule is not to rock the chair while eating, and your child keeps doing it, a consequence might be having to eat while standing or sitting on the floor for the rest of the meal. The lost privilege must be directly related to the misbehavior. 3. Timeout or cool down break. This is not about sending the child to a corner as punishment. It works best when you notice your child losing control, perhaps about to throw a tantrum or scream in anger. In this case, you can gently remove them from the stressful situation to a quiet, pre-agreed timeout spot where they can calm down. Once they're settled, they can return to the activity. It's important to explain that timeout isn't a punishment. It's a break for both child and parent to reset before resolving the issue. How to use logical consequences effectively. To make logical consequences work and bring about positive behavior changes, parents should keep these key points in mind. 1. Be clear about rules and expectations. Children need to clearly understand what's acceptable, what's not, and what will happen if they break the rules. A gentle warning before applying a consequence can be helpful. For example, if you keep throwing the toy, you won't be able to play with it this afternoon. 2. Let children help decide consequences. This might sound strange, but discussing consequences with your child, especially older ones, can make them feel respected and more cooperative. It also helps them reflect more deeply on their behavior and the responsibility it entails. 3. Be consistent. This is crucial. If you only sometimes apply the consequence, or change it each time for the same behavior, your child won't learn the cause-effect relationship. They may think breaking the rules is no big deal or that you're just making empty threats. Consistency reinforces the message and creates predictability for your child. 4. Treat consequences as teaching tools. After the consequence has been experienced, talk with your child about what happened. Analyze together why the behavior was inappropriate and brainstorm better ways to respond in the future. This turns every mistake into a valuable life lesson. Parent strategies for applying logical consequences. To make the journey smoother and more effective, here are some important strategies for parents. 1. Process emotions first. Children's behavior is often driven by emotions, and their ability to self-regulate is still developing. Misbehavior might be an expression of unmet needs, like hunger, tiredness, or a desire for attention. Before applying consequences, check whether your child might be stressed, tired, or upset. More importantly, manage both your own and your child's emotions before trying to solve the problem. If both of you are angry or sad, it's easy to say or do something hurtful. Pause. Ask yourself, am I calm? Is my child ready to listen? Don't rush. Calmness is key. 2. Be a role model. Parents are the mirrors children reflect on every day. Don't hesitate to share your own mistakes and how you corrected them. Explain that adults also make poor choices sometimes. But what matters is recognizing the mistake, admitting it, and taking responsibility. By modeling honesty and accountability, your child will naturally learn these values. 3. Help children make better decisions. Instead of just pointing out what they did wrong, help your child explore the thinking behind the behavior. Ask questions like, why did you choose to do that? What made you think that was a good idea? Did you think about what might happen next? These aren't interrogations. They're tools to help your child think more deeply and make more thoughtful choices in the future. 4. Practice regularly. Applying logical consequences calmly and consistently isn't always easy, especially when you're tired or stressed. But like any skill, respectful and thoughtful discipline takes practice. The more you do it, the more confident and in control you'll feel, even in heated moments. And when you succeed, you're also teaching your child an essential life skill: how to make responsible decisions. Even in tough situations. I hope these insights will give you a helpful tool on this challenging yet joyful parenting journey. Wishing you success.